How's it going, everyone? It's Awesome now back with an all new video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can create Lightrooms inside of Cinema 4D with a really basic setup. So make sure that you like and subscribe. With that getting said, let's get started. So the first of all thing that you need to do is to go inside Cinema 4D and go into your render settings and make sure it's physical. If you use a standard render, it would also work, but I prefer that you use a physical. Now go to just simply go ahead and delete these two if you're there, or go to Effect and Ambient Occlusion and add a Global Illumination. I'm going to be disabling Global Illumination for a while. Okay, let's go ahead and start from the basic. So now I can create a cube. I can scale it. I can keep the x-axis to be like 600, and I can maybe take y to 600. No, take the y to like 400, and I can keep the z to around 900, not 9,000, 900, and that is gonna give me this shape. Now what I want to do here is that enable fillet, and take it to like 20 of radius, or maybe 30, yeah, 35, and I can take these subdivisions to like 6 so that we can get some more smooth work out here. Okay, let's make sure that this cube is editable now. Let's go to polygon mode and enable live selection, and in live selection you need to enable tolerant polygon edge selection. Now select these all. Need not to be perfect because we're not going to be worrying about the others. Just make sure that you don't select the things that are not needed. Hold shift, I just messed it all up. Like if you're dragging and then moving, then hold shift, and if you want to remove something, just hold like alt and just click onto it, or not alt, just hold control and just drag something like that. So there we have it. It's pretty done, and I just messed that all up again. Okay, now let's delete it all so that we have this hollow shape. Now once you are inside of this hollow shape, the thing that we need to do is to move into our polygon, our normalization mode, polygon mode. I don't know what to say that. Let's go to cube, object mode. I really take time to say that. Okay, now once we're inside it, let's make it garage shading. I don't want to see those lines anymore. Now make sure that you're almost in the center of it. Like you can use those grids to align yourself, and let's move into our room. So this is gonna be the room that you're currently working on, and we're gonna be working in. So it's if you render this out, it's gonna be complete like nothing we're looking for a while. So it's nothing like we're gonna look for. Okay, let's create a camera and let's move into our camera. This is gonna be the scene that we were looking at. Now let's go ahead and apply a Cinema 4D protection tag to it so that I can literally move it around. Let's go out of our camera. I can disable this camera for a while so that I can see things. Now what I want to do here is just move that around. Okay, now what I want to do here is to make sure that things are going pretty good. And how we're going to do that is that we're going to go into polygon mode, and let's go to our cube. Now we can select these polys. Now what I want to do is to hold down, and maybe just take this off for a while. You can see I have a pretty small selection of that. Hold shift and just move it up just by a bit. So that it goes up, just like that, holding the middle mouse button. I don't know what I was pressing before. So that we can get a big, pretty good big size brush here. Okay, now I can go into my cube and now hold shift and select all these. Now let's go ahead and create a new material and assign this material to this. Now what we need to do here is, I think that I selected that, I don't know how. So now we have it. Let's go to our material, let's go to color, and let's make it pretty white. Go to reflectance and remove everything. Let's go to add a Beckman. Go to layer Fresnel and add a dielectric Fresnel. You can add glass just in case if you want it, and I'm going to be naming it up walls. That is going to be the one reflecting the walls. Okay, so I can just have it check over to this. I can remove this for a while, and now I can literally just go ahead and select all of this cube, and I can apply. That was just for an idea. If you guys were thinking why I did that long stuff, then it was just for an idea to show what we're doing here. Now apply this wall stuff to everything, and if you go ahead and create a light here, and if you render this out, this is what you're gonna be coming up with. Now you can see it's pretty much noisy, because the thing about noise here is that I'm not using a GPU, but if you're using a GPU, it's gonna be pretty clean render, so you need not to worry about it. Okay, now we can adjust things. Like, what I want to do here is to delete this light, because I don't want such lights here. And now I can go into my camera, inside of my camera, and just delete this protection tag. Let's go into our camera and enable it, and let's move it a bit backwards, and let's move it a bit down so that I can get to the edge of it, until that complete upper part vanishes, right around there. Let's go ahead and apply the protection tag again. Now here we are looking at is what our render scene is going to be looking like. We're going to be placing objects here or anywhere like that, and that way we're going to be using it. So I can just move it a bit. Oh, I don't know why I'm scaling it. Object mode, and just move it like that, something like this. Okay, now I can even apply protection tag to these so that it cannot be moved either. You can see you can move it now. So now what we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be deleting this protection. That was just for a tip, but we're not going to be applying any tags to that for a while. Okay, now what the next thing we want to do is to create lights. How you can do that is to create a plane, and let's move it about, or we can literally apply the protection tag so that in case I'm editing the plane, I don't move anything else around. Now I can disable this for a while, and in your plane you can go to basic and enable X-ray, not in plane, sorry. In the cube you can go enable X-ray so that you can always see through it. Not always, for a while, that like we're creating this plane for now. Now I can take this plane and go to like object and take it like 200 by 200. So we're going to be getting the plane now. So this is the plane that we're working on, and let's create a new material. And this is gonna be the illumination. So I'm gonna be naming like ILLUM. Disable the reflections and enable luminance. Disable the color. And this is gonna be the luminance material. Let's apply this material to the plane, and let's go ahead to MoGraph and apply enable a cloner, and let's take it to cloner, the plane we're gonna be pairing cloner. Let's go inside of cloner. Now here you can see we're having 3 counts, and that is gonna be reflected in the cube. So I can take this cube off so that I can get some more frame rates. Now in cloner we can take it like linear or maybe radial. No, not radial, grid array. Now let's name it like 0 and 0. You can really name it linear. Okay, let's take it 0 and take the instances to be 2, and now I can move them in a way like something like that. Also I'm going to be taking this plane, and maybe I'm going to be decreasing the length to 150. Okay, there we have it. Now what I want to do here is maybe just take this cloner, and maybe I think we can take it like 230. Maybe we can get some whole values onto it, and I do think I'm really figuring around something, and I can take this like 200, maybe disclose the distance over to them. Now what I want to do is to enable our cube, and for a while maybe we can disable the reflections. Okay, now we have our reflections disabled. Let's select our cloner and move it a bit upward. Now make sure that you're on the edge, you don't move these above all that, because that isn't gonna work then. Something like this. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and create another cloner and put this cloner inside of that cloner and make it 2 again, and let's make it 0. It's going back down again. Let's increase the X distance to be 100, maybe 500, 200. You really need to work around these values so that you can get that particular result we're searching for. 250 is pretty good. Let's name it like something like that. I named that illumination again, and just move it upwards, something like that. Yep, right around there. And now I can move inside of my camera. I can enable my camera. I can go into cube, remove the X-ray so that we are looking at the thing that we're going for. Let's go ahead and into my options, enable reflections. Now I can go ahead and create a sphere. Move it a bit upward so that I can see what's going on. Let's make it icosahedron, and let's take segments to like 45. Let's go ahead and create a new material, and I'm going to be naming like sphere. Let's go to reflectance, remove everything, add a Beckman. Let's go to layer Fresnel, add a dielectric layer Fresnel, and make it of glass. I'm just showing you, you can always change around things, and it's gonna be pretty like deep light blue color or something like that. And as always, everything is going good. That's it. Let's just simply apply it. And now the thing is that if you're gonna render it, how results are gonna come. So now you can see we have a pretty reflective studio here. This every wall and every studio reflects everything inside of it. You can see those reflections coming out there. And the best thing about it, that it is driven, this studio is completely driven by these three materials. The main material to be of sphere, and the illumination material to be of them, or the above ones. Now if you want more reflections, you can go ahead and go to luminance and move it like 150, then more reflection will be added, or more deeper reflection would be added. Let's go to walls, and let's go to reflectance, and you can add like additive reflectance, and go to color, and maybe just reflectance color. And what we can do more here is, I really don't getting an idea. Let's crank up the specular strength to be 50%, and there should be something like that. Now if I go ahead and enable global illumination to this, and now if I render it, now you can see we have that ambient occlusion working, and we have all those reflections working out. Now if you don't want these, like this black reflection coming down, you can create another illumination lights here. If I go to options and disable reflections, and now what we need to do is to come out of our camera, and the next thing we want to do here is to enable this or recreate this illumination material right behind, so that we can have a look over to them. How you can do that is simply duplicate your illumination and move it around and make it like illumination side or something like that, and just move him, rotate him completely like 45 degrees. I hope I can simply take it back here 45 degrees, and just move them, or maybe just switch to global. Now up here I can change them and make sure it's global, like completely 45 degree of rotations. And now I can switch to the wall Z and just move it, something like that, like I think 60 would be pretty good. Now I can move this around using the global again, or the Z1. But for the sake of this, you can always go ahead and create something new. I should not save it. Now if I render it again, so there we go. Now we have things going pretty good. Like, it's always preferred that you always go around and improve the brightness or create different materials for different categories. Like the upper one would have a different illumination material, and the behind one would have a different illumination material, so that you can create or just change both of them according to yourselves. Also, this Lightroom will be given down below in description, just in case if you need it. It's really basic setup and does not require anything. But the best of all, if you have third-party plugins like SGRI Studio, this studio is pretty good, and you need not to work around and create this illumination. Even you don't need a complete whole of these things. If I just disable these all, you're gonna be coming up with your own Lightroom. And here in HDRI Studio, if you just render this out, you're gonna be coming up with a lot of shadows and automatic reflections, and It's really awesome, I think this plugin is, but it's not some sort of promotional video, and I just like this plugin way more than I think other plugins are. And you need not to create any sort of studio, it always gives you something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and here's the result what we get when we render it using the SGRI Studio. Now you can see all those realistic reflections, and it's already added those Lightroom and soft boxes. And I hope that will be it. I hope you enjoyed it, and this Lightroom will also be given below in the description just in case if you need it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We're starting off from FrostZ, signing out.